Yeah, baby. Keep on rolling, 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 rolling. Good morning, we're on Victory Monday, baby.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. You know what time it is. Time to keep rolling. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 656 of the Two Dum Yinzers. I want to say to everybody, welcome back. It's Victory Monday once again.
10 times this year, baby. 10 times.
10 times. Who would have seen this?
Who would have thought? I think you did. You think?
I think I did too.
Yeah, I think I had us at like 9 wins. Maybe 10. I think 10 might have been my ceiling for the team.
What is that? Is that me? Is that me somewhere? Okay. That's me.
That
Sorry.
could be. I'm blaming
Good morning,
you.
everybody. Welcome back to the show. It is Victory Monday. I bet everybody got to be feeling good this morning, Mike. This was exactly what I expected to happen this weekend. I was maybe just a couple points off on my overall prediction. I was thinking like 23-10, 23-12-13, something along this line. Steelers do win 27-14 in this game. Was no surprise to me. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Steelers are just all in all a better football team overall. But Mike, I think a couple things. Let's talk about the Browns first.
Yeah.
Talking about some sore losers.
Whoo!
And for one, nobody here even considers the Browns anything of any significance anymore. They just don't.
No.
If you can't come to our field and get a win in 21 years, I'm sorry, nobody's going to take you serious. You're not a rival. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about you. The Browns are so irrelevant. A couple of things happened during the game and after the game yesterday. We're going to talk about them, and then we're going to get into what I thought was an ass whooping when we go in there without our number one skill player on offense, and you come out and score, 27. Basically, come on, it was 27-7. They scored late. Nobody cares. The Browns. A couple of things, guys, that from the Browns. Just here to quick. Derpy says, "I'm just here quickly to say Mike is bald."
Well, okay. Good insight, Derpy. Good insight.
Then also Yinzer Joe. Good morning. He says, "Good Victory Monday, guys." Absolutely. Every Victory Monday is a good Victory Monday. Let me just talk about Mike real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Derpy says also screw the Browns. First and foremost, we eliminated and knocked the Cleveland Browns out of the playoffs with 4 weeks, with a quarter of the season left. The Cleveland Browns have been eliminated by the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday, Mike. And this is a little bit of what that might sound like if you would be in Cleveland and you would hear your team get eliminated yesterday, Mike. This is what it would sound like. There you go. That's the sound in Cleveland because doo-doo is doo-doo.
One more time.
As Method Man said, doo-doo is doo-doo. And you could eliminate, you could count these guys out. Good morning, Field of Steel. Here's a couple of the things, guys, I do want to talk about this Cleveland Clowns team. Apparently, during the game yesterday, a lot of the fans were chanting "Cleveland sucks." This is nothing new. This has always been a thing. I was chanting that 20 years ago at the stadium. Myles Garrett, apparently, Smiles Carrot, he says, "Cleveland sucks." He goes, "Have the same energy when you come to our house next season. Have the same energy when you come to our house next season." Well, for one, nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about the Browns. And screw you. Who cares? You know what?
Yeah.
Next season. Who's thinking about next season? You're thinking about next season because we eliminated you from the playoffs.
Yeah. Our next season is the playoffs. Our next season
is next month.
Yeah.
The Browns, again, Smiles Carrot says, have the same energy when you come to our house next season. That is so far out of the here's the thing, like these Browns, they're really making an attempt to be relevant without winning football games. That's their problem. They're worrying
Yeah.
about the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah.
They're worrying about the Steelers. They're worrying about a rivalry that isn't there anymore. They're pathetic. This is a pathetic football team. And, this is nothing new. I'm not saying anything that nobody doesn't know.
Yeah.
So Smiles Carrot says, have the same energy when you come to our stadium next year. This is what Jameis Winston says. And you got to remember, you can't spell Winston without INT. Guys, Jameis Winston says, I don't believe the Steelers beat the Browns. I believe the Browns beat the Browns. Well, for one, that makes you sound even worse. That makes you sound even more pathetic. You couldn't even get yourself together enough to put up a good game. You're not who beat us. We're who. These guys are clowns. I'm so glad that we're done with them. They're annoying, absolutely annoying. And then finally, so that was Jameis Winston's comment after the game. Jameis Winston says, I don't believe the Steelers beat the Browns. I believe the Browns beat the Browns. And finally, this is the carrot. This is the cherry on the cake, Mike. This is from something that happened in the crowd, apparently, when the wife of offensive lineman Wyatt Teller from the Browns, apparently she went to the game with her lady friends to watch the Steelers and the Browns play on Sunday. And this is what she says. Today were so blatantly disrespectful to me and the Browns girls, she wrote on X. I've never felt so attacked by people who I literally did nothing to. Very sad, embarrassing behavior. Teller added a selfie and other explanation on her Instagram stories. She says, when you're just trying to have a drink and watch your husband at work, but surrounded by Steeler fans who are screaming at you and the team the whole entire time, she wrote, Mike, these guys are clowns. Just get them out of the way. I'm so over it. They're nothing. They're nobody.
They're nothing. And you want to talk about the most disrespectful fans you've seen? What about 2 years ago or last year when little kids had signs at the Browns game saying "fuck them hoes"? Give me a massage. Yeah. So you have a ways to go. Like the Steeler fans have a ways to go to get up to Cleveland Brown level.
Yinzer Joe says, hell, Garrett was trying to shush the Steeler crowd when they were down by 20. Also, Phil the Steel said, poopers. Come on, guys. The Browns, and I'm already bored talking about them. But those are the few things that I did want to bring up because for some reason they still feel this is a thing. Again, we eliminated them. No, nothing off our shoulder. We're moving forward. We have the Eagles next week, and we're not going to think about the Browns until next week when it is time to play them again on the schedule. Again, they're just, Mike, this is what they're trying. This is their claim to fame. Is have some kind of connection to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, like our rival is the Baltimore Ravens, and then you go by division, it's going to be Cincinnati next, and then a distant third is Cleveland. The two relevant franchises in the NFL who have, Baltimore's won Super Bowl, Cincinnati's been to Super Bowls. Those are our rivals. And then there's the Browns, who have a modicum of success once every 20 years. No, get out of here. You guys are nothing. You have multiple top 10 picks on your team. You should be a whole hell of a lot better than what you are. Hell, you have a two-time NFL Coach of the Year.
Absolutely.
You should be a whole hell of a lot better than you are.
Mike, and that's another thing.
You're right. It is their Super Bowl
unpopular. I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion, Mike. But Kevin Stefanski, he won the Coach of the Year 2 times.
Yeah.
Now, say what you will about Mike Tomlin, but he does not ever have a losing season. How in the hell can a guy for the Cleveland Browns, who's never literally done anything ever, have 2 Coaches of the Year? Our guy has none. I mean, come on, whatever your opinion is on Tomlin, it's whatever. But when you put it in that way, guys, there's no reason our guy should not have any.
Yeah, it's because
not one single Coach of the Year.
Yeah. It's the Steeler effect. You're expected to do these things, so therefore, when you do them or even exceed expectations, people go, "Oh, that's what you're supposed to do as a Steeler." And then as the Browns, you're the Browns. That's what happens, you know.
21 straight wins at home against the Cleveland Browns. That's right. Yesterday, the Steelers won 27-14 and improved to 10-3 overall in the division, eliminating the Cleveland Browns from the playoffs. Again, doo-doo is doo-doo. And the Browns are eliminated with a quarter of the season left, which is great. Guys, we are coming up on our last 4 games of the season. Some may say this is the most difficult part of the season, which I think a lot might agree. Guys, again, we go to Philly this weekend, then we go to Baltimore, then home against the Chiefs and home against the Bengals. I look at it this way. Bring it on, because we're good.
Yeah.
If we weren't good, if you didn't have confidence in this team, you might be a little bit more concerned than what I am. But you know what? We're going to win. We're going to win some football games. And at the end of the day, we found out yesterday we can't sit around and wait for the Chiefs to lose and this and that. Of course, the Bills did take the loss, and they do have the Lions next week, which could play to our advantage overall. But you have to go out and do what you could do. You got to do what you do. And if you're 10-3, guess what? You're a good team. You're first place in your division by 2 games. You're out of the number 2 seed by just a division record tiebreaker. This Pittsburgh Steelers team is good. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do against the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. A lot of people in the national media is saying the Steelers look like the only team that might be able to beat the Chiefs, which is yet to be seen. But like that, the Ravens, and again, the Eagles, I think, is the toughest game in this stretch. Again, we've never won in Philadelphia. But you know what? Yeah. There's always a first time for everything. Maybe we could go out this weekend, and it goes into a 10-day gauntlet. Next Sunday, we play the Eagles. The following Saturday, we play the Ravens. And then the following Wednesday, of course, on Christmas, we do have the Chiefs. So 10 days is when we have to fit these 3 games in. I think we're going to learn a lot about this team. I think it's happening at the right time. And I think that, as long as this team keeps getting healthy, they keep moving in the right direction. Come a month from now, January, when the playoffs start, I think we're going to have just as good a shot as anybody else at this point. I think Buffalo, we'll get more into the league games around the league. But Mike, I do want to say something that I've seen that a Mr. Steve, maybe with a familiar last name that you may know on the board. I do want to replicate what he says, and I do want to say, everybody, wish Mike a happy birthday. That's right, it's Mike's birthday, everybody. Mike,
thank you, thanks, Steve. Thank you, everyone.
53, I think he is this year.
Yeah, no. I got a ways to go for that one, my friend.
How old are you?
44.
44. All right.
Yeah. Yep.
So
but I feel good. People at work said
guys, make sure you wish him on the board. Make sure you wish him a happy birthday.
Yeah, people at work said I don't look a day over 35, so I'll take that.
Yeah. Well, you work with some chooches, some dummies.
I know, right? Or they're just trying to butter me up so I, don't ask them to do anything more.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, man. No, man. I thought you were like just turned 30, bro. I'm like, oh, yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, go ahead, get out of here.
So this is how it plays out. People might wonder why we're still the number 3 seed, guys.
That's why.
This is why. The Buffalo Bills did lose yesterday. We did win. However, it comes to head-to-head, which we have no head-to-head. Well, first it comes to record. We have the same common record, 10-3. Then it comes to head-and-head, which we have no head-to-head. Then it goes to conference record, which both of us now have a 2-1, or 2 losses in the AFC and 1 loss in the NFC. So then the next tiebreaker comes down to division record, where the Buffalo Bills are still undefeated within the division because their division is JV at best. We have a 3-1 record that we accumulated over the past month in the division, and they are still undefeated in the division. So us having the loss against the Browns is the reason that we are still the number 3 seed overall. It could change, because if the Lions lose or the Lions beat the Bills this coming week and we win, we will go up just because we have a better record. So, guys, still, there's a quarter of a season left. I was hoping we get a little help from the Chiefs last night. If they would have dropped, we would have been one game out of the number 1 seed, one game, a team that was supposed to finish in the basement, below the Browns, below the Bengals, below the Ravens. Here they are. They could have been 1 game. And you know what? The fact that we aren't at 1 game, we're still close enough to say, you know what, this team might be a pretty good football team. And guys, with like I said, a quarter of the season left, still with the Chiefs on the schedule, anything could happen. Also, Buffalo does play Detroit, and the Chiefs do have more difficult games. They also play the Browns. which again aren't a great team, but again they're a team that could pull wins out of their asses sometimes. And a couple other teams, like I'll look at the schedule later, but Mike, the Chiefs do have a decent schedule. So again, there's still a quarter of the season left.
Yeah, yeah, and like the main thing, like you notice with this team, they only care about the game that's coming up. This is not a team that's looking ahead to see who's further down the road. It's all they've been all business all season long. Like outside of like just Buffalo, I'm not saying they scare me just by recent history. I'm like, really don't want to play them in the playoffs just based off of recent history. But I think we can find a way to slow down that offense and win that game. Kansas City doesn't scare me. Only Philly, the team itself doesn't scare me. It's just, that history of losing there. Maybe we break out of it. The Penguins had a long time where they couldn't win in Philly for like 30 years. Maybe now it's the Steelers' time to break that curse of Philadelphia and get that win. And it's just one game at a time. Focus one game at a time. They beat Philadelphia. They lock up a playoff spot. Come back the next week, beat the Baltimore Ravens. You lock up the AFC North. And it's simple as that. Go into Philly, take care of business. Go into Baltimore, take care of business. In those last two games, you know what? Measuring stick against the Chiefs. They might not be the best at playing the best football that they have played in their little run, but my God, you're still knocking off the defending Super Bowl champ. You do that, you're sitting pretty, and then you go into that game against Cincinnati, hopefully being able to rest a bunch of players.
What are you talking about, Mike? I'm always sitting pretty.
But are you shining bright like a diamond?
That's true.
No, I am.
You are shining bright like a precious diamond today, as Derpy said.
I'm glad that worked out. I was waiting to get that thrown up on the board.
Mike, I'm going to go over a couple of these real quick, and then we're going to get into the Steelers game itself. Let's see here, guys. I want to go as far back as start after the happy birthdays. Roger says, "What is there to learn? You just said it. We are a good team, other than the Chiefs. What have these other?" In a sense, I mean, we learned something yesterday, didn't we? We learned that what Scotty Miller might be able to catch a pass if you need Scotty Miller in a big game situation.
Yeah.
You also. We learned some things yesterday, even after we already knew that we're a pretty good team. So you always will learn a little bit, especially you don't ever want to stop learning, because it could always play advantage to your team's success moving down the stretch. Derpy also said, he says you're shining bright like a diamond, Mike. There you go. I am shining
bright like a diamond today. I got the I put some lotion on today.
I was gonna say, I thought it was the glare from your head, but maybe it is because you are a diamond.
I am a diamond.
Ron says, Battle of PA. Big game this week, guys. A win over Philadelphia would be huge. Not just for the season, not just for a run, but just getting that win in Philadelphia. You just want to break that. You want to break that to make yourself, it's psychological at this point, because if you have never won in Philadelphia, be that one team to get it done, and it's going to feel fantastic. Feel the Steel says, big game at Baltimore, win the AFC North at the Ratbird Nest. Of course, they were off yesterday. They come back and play the Giants this week while we play the Eagles. I doubt we're going to get any help this game. So, again, winning this game is important. And then you go, because if you lose and they beat the Giants, we go into the game with them only one game ahead, which means if we lose that game, that puts us tied, and then it goes in the tiebreakers. So, again, Philadelphia, guys, is really huge. Also, Yinzer Joe says Browns did beat the Ravens and the Steelers on their turf, so maybe we'll get some help against KC. That's what I'm thinking too, Joe, because I think – I agree. I agree. Guys, let's get into this game a little bit. Let's give some numbers, Mike. The team stats on the game was the Browns they outgained us 300 yards to 267. They did outpass us 196 to 147. We outran them. We outrushed them 120 to 104. They outgained us in first downs 20 to 15. Third down percentage, we were 6 for 14. They were 2 for 13. You converted two third downs all game.
That's bad. I thought our number was bad, 6 for 14, but damn, 2 of 13.
Especially considering they had 69 plays against our 62. You ran 69 plays and you converted two third downs.
Yeah, and we started off terrible third downs. What is it, like the first 5 in a row we did not convert, I believe?
It wasn't good.
It was not pretty.
Sacks. We sacked them 3 times. They sacked us once. That was a big difference from the first game. We made that adjustment, and it helped tremendously.
Yeah. Garbage time sack, too. Garbage time sack.
Penalties. We were penalized 6 times for 61 yards. That's an improvement. In the penalties for the Browns, they were penalized 9 times. 9 times for 81 yards.
Well, we did have George out there, and And Joey Porter only had that one penalty, I believe. That was, he had to pick up the slack for George Pickens getting the personal foul. So yeah, that's an improvement, man.
Um, Also, Mike, the turnovers, they had
Mm-hmm.
one fumble lost and two interceptions. We had one fumble lost, no
Yep.
interceptions, total of one to their three. And Mike, the time of possession,
Yeah.
unbelievably,
Right.
50% both ways, 30 minutes for the Browns, 30 minutes for the Steelers. I've never seen that. I got to be honest.
Neither have I, because I didn't check that stat until you started talking about it. I pulled up the box score, and it's like made me do a double take. I've never seen the 30 for like the 30 and 30.
And then some leaders in the numbers, Mike. We have Wilson, who had a 15 for 26 day. It wasn't fantastic.
No.
158 yards, two touchdowns. Remind everybody that this is 1 week after Winston and Wilson both went over 400 yards.
Right.
Uh, I'll get to
See,
Mr. Winston in just a second. Running the ball, 16 carries for 53 yards was Najee Harris, who was also more than Nick Chubb. Mike, number one receiver on the day was Pat Fryermuth with 3 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown. On the defensive side of the ball, Deshaun Elliott led the way, Mike. Remember we were talking last week, is Deshaun Elliott going to have whatever the over-under was? He certainly did. He had 9 tackles and 4 assisted tackles. Alex Highsmith came back. He got a big sack.
mm-hmm.
Keanu Benton.
Woo!
What can you say about Keanu Benton?
My man, we had a thick pick, baby. I love it when those big uglies on the D line get the pick.
When TJ Watt did it, it was impressive because it was your linebacker. He did it a couple times against Burrow in the past. But to
Yeah.
see Keanu Benton's big ass
Mm-hmm.
paw that ball out of the air, out of the sky, pick it off.
Yeah.
It was a thing of beauty. Mike, we were just talking about last week. Are we done with Keanu Benton? Is he a bust? Is he going to work? Mike, does this rejuvenate your opinion on
Dude.
Keanu?
Oh, and the way he's been battling, the way he played last week too against Cincinnati in the second half, where he was just manhandling people, just eating up people. And this week too, he's had a nice little bounce back these past 2 weeks. I love the way he's playing. That right there, my God. When he picked it off and started running, I'm like, did Jerome Bettis come out of retirement?
Yeah.
My man was, hey, if we can't do anything on short yardage, let's get Big Keanu in there.
And of course, Pierre has an interception as
Yes.
well. Over on the Brown side, guys, Jameis Winston went 24 for 41 for 212 yards, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. Nick Chubb ran the ball 11 times for 48 yards, which I think is a success credited to our defense. Judge Judy, even though apparently he had his big day, but 5 catches, 64 yards and a touchdown. That's not very good.
You take away the. I hate when people do it, so I hate it when I'm doing it right here. But you take away that his touchdown pass that was 35 yards. He had 4 catches for 29 yards. I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that all day.
Absolutely. And then finally, Smiles Carrot did get his 1 sack, which who cares?
Garbage time.
Enjoy off season, Smiles.
Yep.
Enjoy it. A couple things, Mike. Cam Hayward, did you know, leads all defensive tackles in this season, Mike, with 55. Cam Hayward, who I was down and out. I was ready to throw this guy to the Wolves.
Yeah.
Before the season started, back whenever they were doing his contract. Mike, this guy is having a career season. Believe it or not, 55 tackles, leads all defensive tackles in the league. The way the guy's been what's he have 9.5 sacks? I didn't see this coming, Mike. I was ready to throw the old man out and get something new, but this guy has went way above, way beyond.
Oh yeah,
and I'm very happy with what's going on with him.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Like as much as we've talked down on him, we have to talk up on him. That's how we do it here, and he is playing a whale of a season. This stupid gnat has been the same one for like a week, I swear. But no, he's having a whale of a season. Like. I thought it was going to be a joke when people saying he should be all pro. Maybe even I think he should be a sneaky candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. He's had some games where he's disappeared, but so does everyone else. And he was dominant last week, dominant this week. Now he just has to keep going down the stretch. If he can keep going down the stretch, I have no problem with him bringing him back next year. Renegotiate that salary because I think that's the way the contract's set up because next year they can cut him free and clear cap hit wise, so they have room to renegotiate that contract. I'd bring him back for at least one more year. I don't want to bring him back for two guaranteed, but one guaranteed and one as a filler year because this guy has been playing lights out, and I hope he can continue it down the stretch because we saw, man, people they have to start guarding him more, and that's freeing up Keanu Benton to make some plays, freeing up Ogunjobi. I am loving what I'm seeing from Cam Hayward.
Uh, I just want to get a couple more messages in here, Mike. Roger says, "Yeah, but we said that we were going to learn something about this team
Uh-huh.
before we played the Commanders. Then against the Ravens, we learned. Listen, we don't know how to beat the Buffalo Bills. As far as I remember, we don't know how to beat Kansas City. So this is what I mean. You can never stop learning. You always want to learn more about yourself and your team because everything we've tried to this point did not yield any wins against the
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo Bills. And unfortunately, these are going to be the teams that if we want to get to the Super Bowl, we're going to have to figure out a way to beat the Bills or Kansas City. And that's all I meant. I don't think that we have to do a complete overhaul to learn who we are. I just say that you always have to keep learning and trying to improve. And again, we got to figure out a way to beat those teams if we want to get over that hump. Phil still says it all started with the 95. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That woke up the entire stadium and the offense.
Also, Ron says Pickens wasn't injured. I think the Steelers fabricated his injury to protect him from being targeted by the Browns, who wanted to hurt him for his comments. Steelers couldn't afford to be without him. You know what? That was my suspicion initially, and then the media kind of convinced me that I was being crazy. But now that it's all said and done, I think I think that this kind of does play something into it. I think he might have been more valuable off the field than he was on the field yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just my speculation. This is not from any source, but from the way I see things, it seems to me that they gave him the day off.
Yeah.
But do you do that? Do you do that getting ready for a division game? Do you do that when you're a team that's trying to bide for bids? Do you? I mean, it seems to me like it's something that we would have done. I think that it had something to do with it. But Mike, does this kind of thing? What do you think?
I don't
George
know.
Pickens.
I'm going back and forth with it because on one hand, yeah, it's smart. Leave him out there because everything that he was talking about, saying, and then Newsom was able to get into his head. You would keep him out, but at the same time, you needed to win this game to set you up for the next two games. To win those two, you make the playoffs. You don't want to keep your best guy out. But then, who's it? Jerry Dulac is reporting that he has a grade 2 hamstring strain.
And he might not be available
It
this week.
might not, yeah, it could miss the Eagles game. So, and Dulac's reporting recently has been hit or miss
Mm-hmm.
on what's who's giving him good intel and not from the insiders. So it's I'm up in the air on it. Like I am very up in the air on it. Yeah, because he
It
went
doesn't
out.
seem out of the question, like because his last game and a time. Last game and a time. So last game and a little bit into the previous game, he got into a fight down in the end zone.
Yeah.
He punts a ball into the crowd, which
Mm-hmm.
Fryermuth did it kind of tongue in cheek yesterday. Also, he gets all these penalties. Mike, he got fined $20,462
Yeah.
for his penalties against Cincinnati. So, in my opinion, he may have been more valuable on the sideline
Yeah.
than in the game,
Yeah.
which is a weird thing to say considering he is your number one receiver on your team.
Yeah.
But Mike, $20,462 he was fined for his penalties in Cincy. Those penalties, the ball kicked, the fight at the end of the game. These are the reason why I'm leaning toward it may have been fabricated.
Yeah, and like last year, it came out at the end of the year. He was fined, what $100,000 by the team for conduct detriment to the team throughout the season. So he's probably getting fined again too by the team, and they're probably like, it could be their way of like, hey, go out there, make it look like you're testing that hammy, but you're not gonna go.
Yeah.
Or if he does have an injury, he's like, test it. We're going to let you test it and say, no, you're not going to go. Save face a little bit for him. And this is like a weird thing for the Steelers. They're actually showing forward thought for games down the road. Normally it's whatever's right in front of us. This is all we care about. But, they know they need him down this stretch. And I think the telling thing will be if he plays against the Eagles, I'm leaning towards heavily that this is their way of suspending him for a game, saving face. We're going to say you're injured. But if he does miss this game, okay, I'm leaning towards he's injured and we have a lot to worry about.
Also, Roger said, "I'm sorry, Cam. Nice to see someone perform after they get the money.
Yes,
This is
huge.
as nice. This is as nice as Cam played in quite a few years, guys.
Oh, big time. And I know he was injured last year, so that kind of gets thrown out. But the couple years before that, when he wasn't injured, he was a little lackluster. And hey, whatever his motivation is this year, saving all the tweets, saving all the news clippings to help him motivate. Hey, whatever it's taking, I'm loving this side of Cam Hayward.
And finally, Yinzer Joe says Landon Roberts needs his flowers blown
Yes.
up fourth run.
Woo.
Dude, Landon Roberts is so underrated. This guy,
Mm-hmm.
for the plays he makes week in, week out. Remember a couple weeks ago, he blew somebody up on the goal line. Just totally blew the
He
play up.
caused the fumble and we couldn't get it. Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was.
Against Dallas. Yeah.
And if you got to say, anybody on this defense might deserve some kind of accolades for what they've done, I think that you have to throw Landon Roberts in that category. The guy has
Mm-hmm.
been solid. Come on, he's been the most
Yeah.
consistent linebacker on the team. There's no two ways
Yeah.
about it. Patrick Queen has his ups, his downs, but you know what? How many times do you see a Landon Roberts on the field? You go, oh, Landon, never. This guy is always in the middle of things.
Yep.
This guy is always making big plays. I think that Landon Roberts should get a lot more credit. Mike, we are at halftime. We are at the halfway point of the show, so I do want to say, make sure you get online and vote. Vote for your Pittsburgh Steelers for the All-Pro game, for the Pro Bowl. I'm sorry. Get on, vote for your favorite guys. A lot of guys are still in the running. I don't have the numbers in front of me, Mike, but guys that typically aren't your biggest names, they are still within 5 people of getting voted to the Pro Bowl. So make sure you get online. It takes 2 minutes. Get on your phone, push some buttons, and vote your favorite Steelers in for the Pro Bowl game. Mike, back to it. The gold end zones. I love it. We had the gold end zones. This is when I think that the Yinzers feel the best. I think you walk into Three River Stadium, into Acrisure Stadium. Pitt's done, high school's done, and it's all Steelers. So you walk in, your end zones are gold, your Steelers are down there. They're ready to play the Browns, guys. I think that I think yesterday's game was just a nice, just a boost. I mean, it's a team that's not a great team. You lost to them a couple weeks ago. Getting this win was nice. Get it under your wing. Let's get ready for these Eagles. Mike, 4 games left. 4 games left.
Yeah, 4 games
at
left.
Philly, at Baltimore, Chiefs, Bengals.
I think we have some. Oh, thanks, Jen. I think we have an upset coming up. I think we're gonna upset the Eagles. We're gonna be road dogs. I think we're gonna upset them.
Another big thing, Mike, is the injuries are staying. We didn't get hurt yesterday. That was big.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, like when I saw Dante Jackson come down, I was ready to hunt you down.
Yeah.
You and your devastating injuries. That scared me.
The injuries were, again, this is the part of the season you want to start getting healthy if you can. As the Chiefs, why aren't they playing? Why are they only beating these teams by 2? Because their starters are out. Well, guess what? Everybody has starters out. We are just as much in this mix as everybody else, guys.
Nope.
10-3, a tiebreaker out of the number 2 seed with the Bills, and just 2 games now, I guess it is, with the Chiefs. But we do have the Chiefs on the schedule, and they do have a couple difficult games left. I believe they have the Browns, they have us, they have the Texans. And then there's one other team. I can't think of who it is, but I think that game is also a challenging game for the Chiefs. Let's see if the Chiefs and the refs could keep getting it done over there, but they still, Mike, only do have 1 loss going into the last quarter of the season. Is it possible that this Chiefs team could go all the way through the season without losing into the playoffs and continue to play playoff teams and, Mike, not have any losses? I don't think it's possible unless they get help. I just don't think that this team is good enough. I don't think. Look at any dynasty. Look at your Steelers. Look at your Cowboys in the 90s, your Niners in the 80s. Mike, this team is not a dominant dynasty. It's kind of a joke if you think about it.
Yeah, like especially this year where they lost Hollywood Brown, they lost Rashee Rice, who was coming on to be one of the better young receivers in the league, and now they're without their 1 and 2. You're seeing age catch up to Kelsey, and they have no one else around him. Pachenko was hurt for a while, so and they struggled along, and they're not getting anyone. They got Pachenko back, and they're gonna might get Hollywood Brown. They might get him back, but I don't think they have the offensive weapons anymore to do it. Kelsey, I think age has finally caught up with him. His body doesn't react the way it did 3 years ago. I think this is the least impressive team of their dynasty, and probably the least impressive dynasty outside of Mahomes. He's the engine that drives that thing, but everyone else around him and him and Kelsey, everyone else has been just under par, underwhelming.
Imagine
they have a couple guys on that defense, though. I don't want to undersell that defense. Like Chris Jones is a beast.
Imagine your football dynasty being headed by a guy who has childbearing hips.
I knew it. I knew you were going to bust up Mahomes'
Well, I
hips.
mean, come on, look how weird and flumpy he is, just kind of flomping down the field. And why is it that Mike, I've never seen a Chiefs game where in the big moment there wasn't just a wide open wide receiver just running around in the middle of the field. Why does nobody ever pick that one
Well,
wide receiver up the middle of the field? It's open every single play.
dude,
Like,
that's like
there's never
watching.
been a history in the Chiefs Patrick Mahomes teams where they
Mhm.
never had that guy just roaming around
Yeah.
freely to bail his ass out every time. Mike, I don't get it. What's going on with Kansas City?
And that's like, for 20 years we saw that unnamed, undescript, unheard of little white receiver
White
running
receiver hitting the seam
running
route.
that crossing route for
Yeah.
Tom Brady. No one could stop it. And the same thing with the Chiefs right now. I
That's
don't
what
get
I'm afraid of. There's
Yeah.
just those things that nobody could pick up for whatever reason.
But
Yeah.
the voodoo black magic that Mahomes and the Chiefs have and that Tomlin and the Steelers have is going to collide on Christmas Day. So who had the better deal with the devil? We are going to find out.
Yeah. Is it gonna? Yeah.
That's what everyone's waiting to see.
Gonna be bitch hips or us? We'll see. Um, Jen says, any update on Larry's groin? I think Larry Ogunjobi, it doesn't seem like it's that big. I haven't heard much of it. I haven't heard the media talking about it.
Yeah,
And they didn't get into the game. Of course, Tomlin will be on tomorrow to talk about, tell us what the injuries are and things like that. But at this time, I don't think it's anything that bad.
Last thing I had was like questionable during the game. I didn't
Yeah.
see anything on the trib about it. I have a feeling tomorrow during his conference might be the next time we actually hear anything, or unless like some of the reporters get a little inside scoop and leak that out. But I don't think we hear anything until Tuesday, unfortunately.
Roger said the Broncos. The Broncos are that other team on the schedule for the Chiefs, which again,
and they're playing well.
They only beat the Raiders by 2 in their division. They only beat the Chiefs by 2 in the division. Let's see if the Broncos. I mean, that is the other game that I was missing from the Chiefs schedule. So maybe this playoff team can knock off the other playoff team in their division. And finally, hopefully, Montravius Adams getting healthier. Again, these are all these small injuries. They're all finally starting to get better. Mike Adams, Trice, guys like this. So we're going to start seeing helping out in the lineup moving forward.
Yeah, I hopefully Larry O can go. If not, I'm putting Montravius maybe put him in the middle and slide Keanu Benton to the outside, and still keep Loudermilk as the backup. I don't want Loudermilk starting. That's how I would rearrange the D line.
Also, Mike Philistille says, awesome to honor.
Yes.
Jason Gilden. Oh, where'd it go? A couple popped up, and it took my
I know they popped up real quick. Here we go.
Jason Gilden, Casey
Big
Hampton,
Snacks.
Willie Parker, and Dick LeBeau, guys. Yes, congratulations to them for being inducted into the Ring of Honor at Acrisure Stadium. It's always a good thing.
Yeah.
And I
saw
got to say, Mike, those are 4 pretty good entries.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, Big Snacks, Casey Hampton, one of the most underrated players of his era. He was just a beast at D tackle. Yeah, I saw that too, Jen, where Maurice Jones-Drew said like the Steelers could beat the Chiefs because we know how to win ugly, and we've been doing it for 3 years.
MJD, is he actually an analyst, or is this just kind of out of the
he's
side
an
of his
analyst.
mouth? Okay,
he's an analyst up there. Yeah.
And also, let's see, Michael. Yes, Mike, you do. You know what? I've said this many times that you look like Andy Reid, and I've been trying to find him a red hat. I have like a red windbreaker kind of jacket for him to wear. One of these days we'll bust it out, but I have to find you a red hat. Mike looks very much like Andy Reid, as Ron Navy said. Andy Reid,
Bundle-Rooski,
son. Yes.
Bundle-Rooski.
See, I see it. And I can also see your fingers running across the table to get my chicken nuggies. This is very accurate. Roger says, nice to welcome JJ into Steeler Nation. Of course, JJ Watt was up there waving his terrible towel.
Yeah.
Little guy, was always great to see. Also, good afternoon to 007, my man. He says James Pierre's interception to seal the game was golden. It sure was, man.
Yes.
It sure was. Wow, what a good game. A lot of good things happen. Again, the numbers weren't fantastic, but you go out there without a number 1 at the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, without a number 2 still at this point, nobody's proven themselves to be that number 2.
No.
You have a couple candidates, but to say that they've proven themselves to be the number 2 receiver, Mike, I don't think that it happened yet.
It didn't happen yet, but I will give them credit. Everyone stepped up. We wanted to see what they can do. Russ spread the ball around to 8 different guys, caught a pass. 2 of them lost yardage, but the hell, they caught the ball. That's all that matters at this point. Big shout out to Scotty Miller. He found out like a half hour before the game he was playing.
Yeah.
He was just sitting there chilling in street clothes, like, no, dude, you're playing. And he came up with that huge catch on the sideline. Yeah, big props to him. Van Jefferson with that.
What? Is that awkward looking or what?
Hey, Van Jefferson is doing Van Jefferson. I lost my soundbite. Van Jefferson is doing Van Jefferson things out there.
Yes.
When he caught that ball. You don't know what the hell he's doing, but he got the touchdown. That's all that matters. Mike Williams was robbed on that offensive pass interference. We can't get that call.
And that wasn't even a push. He just you have to do something.
It's two guys. It's two guys hand fighting down the sideline. He extended a little bit. He's a vet. He should have got that call. Should have been a veteran move. Let him play. But no, he got robbed. But he came back, had another nice catch on the sidelines, got a couple other catches. So yeah, it was a nice little wide receiver core by committee. But you definitely need George Pickens back. Or you need Deontay Johnson to get fired by the Ravens. Waltzing in.
Would you stop saying that?
I want it to happen so bad.
He'll come waltzing. Yeah, the Steelers.
I want it to happen one day, bad.
And here he'll come walking in backwards into the locker room. Hey guys,
and he'll make a one-handed catch and run backwards to the end zone. He'll fit right back in.
He'll fit right in. Mike, it's time to bust through these scores for the week. If I can do so. Here we go, Mike. Let's get into the scores. We're going to go through the scores. Yes. We're going to go through, look around the division and look at the playoff picture as we speak. Getting ready to go into the last 4 games of the season. Unbelievable, in my opinion, Mike. Here we are with only 4 games left. But heading back to last Thursday, the Detroit Lions did knock the Packers off 34-31 to keep some distance between them and the Pack in the NFC North. Mm-hmm. The New York Giants fall to the Saints over the weekend 14-11. Sounds like a great game.
That was a great game.
The Jets and the Dolphins, another great one. The Dolphins did win 32-26, but guess what? It was at home. Wait till they have to leave South Florida. Hey. That will all change, and that was an overtime win.
Yeah, 14 straight years where the Jets were eliminated from the playoffs.
The Jacksonville Jaguars, you and Derpy took a hit on the picks on this one. You both went Tennessee. The Jaguars, they break their losing streak and win 10-6 over Tennessee.
That's what you get for picking Will Levis.
The Minnesota Vikings knocked the Falcons out of first place, which takes us down to 4-0 against teams that sit in the playoffs, because that does take the Atlanta Falcons out of a playoff spot. But nonetheless, we are still 4-0 against playoff teams we faced this year. The Philadelphia Eagles, they barely beat the Carolina Panthers 22-16. Buccaneers 28-13 over the Raiders. That gives them first place in that division over the Falcons. Seattle wins 30-18 over the Cardinals. The Bears take a beatdown from San Francisco. Ooh. 2 bad teams this year.
Yeah.
Just not playing good football. San Francisco does win this one 38-13. The Rams beat the Bills in this game. I'm watching this game. This is why I say this about the Bills. It really feels like they could score at any point in the game that they want to. It really feels that way when you're watching it. I'm watching this game, and the Rams kept going up. But the Bills just kept, anytime they touch the ball, they're a very dangerous team. That's why they scare me. Chiefs, they squeak another 2-point win out over division opponent last night, 19-17. And the week caps off tonight in a game between the Bengals and the Cowboys. 2 teams that really don't matter at this point. But again, it's going to be fun to watch. Maybe, I don't know, who do you root for in a game against between the Bengals and the Cowboys, Mike? Who do you want to win that? Is your mic on? I think Mike still can't hear Mike. I don't know what's going on over there. So while he's working on that, I think Mike did say he said we'll root for the Cowboys. I don't know. That's kind of the way I read his lips, but I don't know if that's what he said. Still do not hear Mike. I don't know what's going on his end. Let me go into the schedule for next week, because, of course, the Ravens did have the week off. That helped us out, because by getting the win, we gained that half a game over them. Now we are 2 games ahead of the Ravens, along with the tiebreaker. So that's good. Going into next week, the Chiefs play the Browns. As far as the division goes, the Ravens come back off the break, and they play the Giants, which is a nice primer game to get them ready for us the following week. And then the other team, I don't Oh, the Bengals and the Titans, which I guess it doesn't matter anymore because it is just the Bengals. Mike, did you get your mic figured out? No, what's going on? I just don't know. Keep trying. Just keep making noises while you're
There we
working on
go.
it.
I see. It became unplugged. I plugged it back in, had to change the settings, and somehow it got muted all at the same time.
How does it get
I
unplugged? What are you
don't
doing?
know. I don't know. I'm having
Uh,
tech issues over here.
Roger said at this point of the season, I go Bengals. I hate the Cowgirls. Mike, who did you say?
Cowboys.
Cowboys. I guess
Yeah,
either way, it don't matter.
yeah. I just like seeing the Bengals lose.
And again, playoff picture didn't change much on our side, AFC. The only thing it did was we got a little bit closer within a tiebreaker of the Buffalo Bills. Guys, we are only out of that by a tiebreaker out of the number 2 seed, and that is because of division record with our 1 loss, and they have none. They have no division losses over in the AFC East. Surprise, surprise. Mike, it's time to do some grades, get game balls.
Yes.
But let me say this real quick, guys. You want to know something interesting? The last time the Steelers had a losing season, 2003. You want to hear a couple of things real quick, Mike, before we do this?
Yeah.
Facebook didn't exist the last time the Steelers had a losing season, guys. Facebook did not exist for quite a few more years. Tommy Maddox was the starting quarterback the last time the Steelers did not have a winning season. Outcast, Hey Ya, was the number 1 song the last time the Steelers had a losing season. Hey Ya. And finally, here's one, Mike. The word podcast hadn't even been invented yet.
Wow.
The last time the Steelers had a losing season. And if you dig back to the last time that the Browns had a better season than we did, can you imagine the things that we could find from 1988?
Whew.
I mean, we were just buying brand new we were just buying brand new Nintendos, the brand
Yeah.
new Nintendo
Yeah.
with Mario and Duck Hunt. And
Yeah.
that was the last time the Browns finished better than the Steelers, all the way up until last season. But guys, Mike, it's time to get into this. Let's do grades first, and we'll get into the game ball. Mike, how do you grade your quarterback play from yesterday?
Oof.
Russell Wilson goes 15 for 26, 158
Oof.
yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Mike, what do you give your quarterback for his performance yesterday against the Browns?
I'm gonna go a C plus. God, he started off terrible. But that second half, man, that opening possession, I think he had more passing yards in that first drive in the second half than he did in the first half total. And 2 nice little touchdown passes. That nice little scramble and the quarterback keeper against Myles Garrett made him look like a fool. I'm going to give him a C plus.
All right. Good afternoon, Mark Malone. Mark Malone says 6-10. 6-10 was their last.
Yep.
All right, guys. Running backs, Mike. How do you give the? What do you grade their running backs? Of course, grades on the show today go by A, B, C, D, and F as they would in school. Mike, what do you give their running backs' performance yesterday? They both, I think, combined, they were 100 yards even.
Yeah.
It was 47 and 53 between our two backs. Mike, what do you give these guys?
I'm going to grade those 2 out of B.
Yeah.
I wanted more yards from Najee, but they were stacking the box when Najee was in there. They knew he was coming in. He just kept pounding straight ahead. I liked it. Warren in there as that change of pace back. I loved it, how he caught them off guard. I'm going to give them a B.
Mike, next is the tight ends. We had a touchdown from a tight end yesterday.
Muth. Yeah.
Mr. Muth from Mr. Happy Valley over here.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, what do you grade these tight ends?
I'm going to give them a B plus. Muth had the 3 targets, 3 catches. Can't ask for any more production out of that for what you're targeted. Had the nice little touchdown there. Thought Darnell Washington had a great game as helping to block on Myles Garrett and throughout the line. Yeah, they get a B plus from me.
I do just want to stop real quick because Brian is, he said TJ Watt a F minus, and then he also says game ball goes to the Browns on disciplined team effort. And then 007 jumps in. He says, we have a sour Browns fan in the house. Let's see what else. But you know what? No matter what you say, even if you play an undisciplined game, you still have to do your job on your side of the ball and get things done, which we did. So Say what you will, Mike. Let's move to the wide receiver room. The wide receivers, we didn't have a 1 or a 2.
No.
Technically, yesterday we still managed to make some pretty nice pass plays, 2 in the end zone, and quite a few more throughout the game. Mike, what do you give these wide receivers for what it's worth?
You know what? I'm going to be that very lenient teacher. I am giving them an A because the effort that they put out, especially like we said, Scotty Miller, he didn't know he was going to play.
Scotty doesn't know, baby. He didn't
Scotty
know he was
doesn't
going to play.
know. Scotty doesn't know. But yeah, I'm giving them an A. They made the
He
plays when they
scored on
need.
Mike's birthday. Yeah.
I wanted to see more Calvin Austin, but you can't just force the ball to Calvin Austin. He has to be the guy to get open.
Yeah.
And Russ got to hit him on that first pass on that quick hitter, throwing it halfway up the field when he was standing 2 feet away from him. But no, I give them an A for what they were thrown into, not having George on the other side to help them out the take coverage. For their skill level, I'm giving these guys an A.
Phil Steele says every time he sees Brian write something on the board from one man's opinion, it sounds like wow, 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 wow. All right, Mike, offensive line. You got to give it to these guys. I mean, last time they got up in Cleveland, there was garbage cans banging, all this kind of fun stuff, and they could not stop, especially in the first half of the game. Excuse me, Myles Garrett. Mike, what do you grade this offensive line for their performance? I didn't see Russell Wilson constantly being chased. It was happening. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it was happening.
I didn't see the I didn't see the running backs getting blown up in the backfield.
Yeah,
Mike, what do you give this young makeshift offensive line from yesterday's game?
I'm gonna give them a B plus as well. And like Sayamalo said, he said at halftime the coaches, they just keyed in on certain runs that were working. That's what we're gonna do. They changed blocking assignments to they figured, okay, this team's doing a bunch of run blitzes. We're going to adjust for that. And Sayamalo said, hell, it worked. And the coaches did a hell of a job on getting that line in the run game going in the second half. So I'm going to give that O-line a B+.
All right, Mike, let's hop to the other side of the ball. Defensive line. One man gets injured, Ogunjobi, of course. Another man gets a couple sacks. He have one sack, two sacks.
Two sacks, baby.
And the guy in the middle gets an interception. Mike, how do you grade the defensive line?
The defense, even though we did give up, 100 yards rushing, it didn't feel like we gave up 100 yards rushing. And these guys,
especially considering Chubb only had 48.
Yeah, and the way they were able to push the pocket and also more or less limit Winston scrambling, I'm giving those guys an A. Cam had a whale of a game. So did so did Keanu Benton. Yeah, those guys are getting an A.
All right, Mike, the linebacker core. I'm talking Landon Roberts. I'm talking Patrick Queen, Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt, Nick Herbig, the whole crew. Mike, what do you give these linebackers?
I'm going to give them an A. And Brian, I got something just for you, bud. If I can find what I'm looking for, give me a second here. Everyone, in light, just deal with me here. This is TJ Watt. He's saying he did nothing. TJ Watt generated 6 pressures for a 15.4% pressure rate, got off on the line in 0.8 seconds. He influenced that game. He influenced their run game. He influenced their passing game. He was a factor. And if you said he did nothing, go back and watch the film and learn ball.
Ooh,
shots fired.
Shots fired.
But no, he affected.
So you gave the linebackers a what? What was it again?
I gave them an A.
Okay.
Especially when they started blitzing Patrick Queen. Oh my God, they got to do that more.
Yeah, there was a lot of impressive things by the linebackers yesterday, Mike.
Landon Roberts.
The DBs. Let's get to your DBs. Joey Porter didn't had a week. Week was better than last week. No two ways about that. Dante Jackson did Jackson things. The safeties did safety things. Mike, what do you give these DBs? Again, Deshaun Elliott leads the team in tackles yesterday, 13 tackles total. What do you give these DBs?
You know what? Outside of that one big pass play of 35 yards, they had another one for 20. That was about it. And they gave up a lot of garbage time at the end. I'm going to give these guys an A. After that, that initial touchdown drive, Winston was having trouble completing passes. And when they were completing passes, they were getting shut down quick. I'm going to give those guys an A.
All right. Also, 007 says, I see Peyton Wilson constantly around the ball. No two
ways
about it.
Yeah. I was going to mention him, too, on that little swing pass.
How can you not love him? I mean, come on.
How fast he got to there, it was amazing how fast he got over to that guy.
And finally, Brian says on the board, he says, come on the show Wednesday, Mike. So I think that the challenge has been put out there between Mike and Brian.
Oh, well, I have facts and figures. And someone wants to ignore said facts and figures. I just put up.
You guys are both on the same time.
I just put it up.
What's that?
I said I had the figures right there.
Well, yeah,
And he
Yins
just
could do that
ignored
on
it.
your own time, guys. We still have a lot to go over on this show, but I would certainly be very interested to see that go down. But we will work on that. Mike, let's get to the coaching. How would you grade the coaching
Mm.
for this Pittsburgh Steelers team yesterday?
Yesterday, I'm going to give them an A. You know, we started off sloppy. I don't care about that. They responded every time. There's been a gauntlet thrown on this team has responded. They did it again today. They made great second half adjustments. They get an A. I am starting to get worried about the kick coverage though on special teams. They
Well,
had that nice long
I don't know
return.
if I'm worried about it.
Cincy was starting to. They had some decent ones too. I'm starting to get. But Danny Smith will get that figured out. I have faith in Danny Smith.
Special teams. Speaking of Danny Smith, Mike, what do you give the special teams overall then?
I haven't
Listen,
said all that. I'm going to give them an A minus because Carlos Waitman
Waitman's
and Boz
averaged over 50 yards per punt.
Whew. And that punt coverage team was great.
Boz nailed his field goals.
Yeah, this is that kick coverage. It was starting to it's starting to worry me a little bit. I think we're going to have one returned against us at some point coming up.
Finally, Mike, the overall grade. What is your overall grade for the Pittsburgh Steelers? It was a good game. I mean, we did some things very well, but again, I don't know if you could give them an A.
You can't give them an A.
It wasn't, it could have been a lot better. Things could have certainly been a lot better.
You know, hey, after a win, I'm going to be generous with my grades. I'm going to give them a B plus overall. It might not have been a B plus game. Definitely wasn't an A game for them, but we found a way to win.
Mike, who gets your game ball? Guys on the board, participate as well. If you think that maybe Mike and I are wrong, maybe we're forgetting somebody, throw your game ball up on the board as well, because you might be more accurate than we are.
Yeah, he had Cam Hayward, which is I don't want to agree, but I kind of want to agree. But I'm going to go with God, I don't know who I'm going to go with. I don't know. It's not going to be anyone from the offense. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to go with that wide receiving core. They stepped up, made plays when needed. They collectively get a game ball. You know, they did more than I thought they would have. I didn't think they would be making those sideline catches, especially Scotty Miller. So the wide receiver core is going to get my game ball, even though there are much deserved players that deserve it more. You can say Deshaun Elliott. You can say Cam Hayward, Patrick Queen, even. Alex Highsmith had a hell of a game.
I also have a collective game ball. My collective game ball goes to the offensive line. I think the adjustments they made to improve since just the last time we played the Cleveland Browns, I think they've come a long way. Again, you didn't see Russell Wilson constantly being chased around. You didn't see plays being blown up in the backfield. I think the offensive line made adjustments they needed to make. And as long as they keep continuing to do so, I think that you could be happy about what they're doing. Because, again, you got to remember, a lot of these guys aren't even starting linemen in the NFL. Two of them are draft picks, guys we picked up in the draft. Another couple. So, again, from what this offensive line was able to do, keep Myles Garrett out of the backfield for the most part, I give collective game ball to the offensive line in this game.
I tell you, someone said that, you know, Watt made the tackles when he wasn't blocked. Myles Garrett had some plays where he wasn't blocked and didn't tackle anyone. Yeah, like when Russ fooled him on the quarterback keeper on the read option. Yeah, Mr. All World, Mr. Defense Player of the Year. That's it. Ooh, Jaylen Warren. Yes, he had a hell of a game when he was in there. That whole series where he was just running down the field. I love it.
Ron said Muth. Muth had a really good game. Jen said
Ben.
Jen with an I and an E said Benton. She said that he changed the game, of course. 007. I thought Jaylen Warren also had a big game. Let's see what's Brian got going on here. It says Steelers get a C. Can we get Boswell voted in as a league MVP? Also, Phil Still says, I don't know why one would take an opinion from someone who didn't play football. Wouldn't give an opinion on, let me get it right, table tennis.
Oh, he got it right.
So the shots are continued to be fired on this Monday morning's Victory Monday. Again, the Pittsburgh Steelers 27, the Cleveland Browns 14. The Steelers improved to 10-3. Still atop the division, now 2 games and only a tiebreaker out of the number 2 seed overall in the AFC. A lot of good things going on, guys. Again, playing out without our number 1 receiver, we still managed to score a couple passing touchdowns. We still managed to win this game. Again, it should have been 27-7, but 27-14. I'm going to hit a couple things here, Mike, and then we got to get into the trivia of the day because the Philadelphia Eagles are next on the schedule. Here are a few things. Yes, the Browns kicker missing his 2 field goals certainly played a role as well, as 007 says. Mike, let's knock up these couple other things real quick. The Pitt Panthers, their bowl game, it was announced yesterday. They were playing in the Game Above Sports Bowl. This game is at the Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. They play Toledo, Mike Toledo, one of your Ohio teams. That game is the day after Christmas at 2 o'clock again at Ford Field. The conference championship games did happen over the weekend. Mike, Penn State did fall. They did fall just short to Oregon, but we do know where they're going next. In the playoffs, they play SMU. This game is going to be at Penn State. Also, we have Ohio State. They're going to be playing Tennessee. Texas is going to be playing Clemson. Notre Dame is going to be playing Indiana. And, of course, as I mentioned, the Penn State, SMU, and the 4 teams waiting for winners to play. The teams with the byes are Oregon, Georgia, Boise State, and Arizona State. So that is the updated information on college football. It's about to get interesting. I can't wait to check out this new playoff format. In the UFL, the Pittsburgh Maulers, Pittsburgh is being considered to be a team again. They're looking to expand their teams. A couple other cities mentioned, Mike, are Las Vegas, Seattle, LA, and Utah. A lot of these teams were in the spring league until they merged and kicked some teams out, but now they're looking to expand again, and Pittsburgh is being named amongst one of them. The Pittsburgh Penguins split over the weekend. They lose to the Rangers on Friday 4-2, but they get it back on Saturday by beating the Maple Leafs 5-2. They play tomorrow at 7 o'clock p.m. They're going to be hosting the Colorado Avalanche. In baseball, Dave Parker, one of the more important Pirates on the World Series teams in the 70s. He's getting inducted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, class of 2025. About time, right?
Freaking time, my God. If Roberto Clemente never played for the Pirates, Dave Parker would be our Roberto Clemente. That's how good he was out in right field. If anyone saw him play, the stories you would hear from people that he was that damn good, should have been in a long time ago, and then justice has finally been, righted. He should have been in a long time ago. He was unfairly punished by the MLB for the whole cocaine thing in the 80s.
All right, so Cobra is getting in.
About freaking time.
Hall of Fame, finally, Mike, on the high school level. The 2 Western Pennsylvania teams that did go to the championship this past weekend. Central Catholic takes a big loss to St. Joe's Prep. I'm pretty sure that these guys play pros on their team. I don't know how this St. Joe's Prep is even legal. St. Joe's Prep 35, Central Catholic 6. And finally, Avonworth falls to Northwestern Lehigh in overtime, 36-33. So the East wins this year, but we'll be back at it next year to get them. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
The2dumyinzers.com. Head on over there. Check it out, especially if you're new here. We have all of our social media links over there. We got the blog over there, the merch store. Check it out, the2dumyinzers.com. And don't forget, we also have the Discord. I posted the link in the chat, and it's also over at the website. So check it out, everyone.
Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. We'll find that out on the board. Jen played some Powder Puff. Also, Roger says, give the game ball to Jameis. He'll just give it right back. I
love that comment.
All right, guys. So the question of the week is, we are now into Philadelphia Eagles questions. This is the interstate matchup of the week, I guess you could call it. The Steelers-Eagles Sunday at 4:25 in Philadelphia. So these next few days, we're going to be answering Philadelphia trivia questions. As disgusting as it seems, but here we go. We're going to do it anyway. Mike, put on your thinking cap. Everybody on the board, everybody at home. Here's what the question of the day is. In 1988, the Eagles played an infamous playoff showdown with the Chicago Bears. What was the game? What was that game? It was given a name. I need to know what the name of that game was. In 1988, the Eagles played the infamous playoff showdown with the Chicago Bears. This game was coined a name. The answer is what I need to know is what the name of that game was called. Think that over, guys. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every day right here on YouTube. All right, Mike, question of the day. In 1988, the Eagles played an infamous playoff showdown with the Chicago Bears. And this game was coined a certain name. Mike, my question of the day is this. What was the name of that particular game called?
The body bag game.
The Body Bag Game. Is this your final answer?
That's my final answer.
The final answer. Mike got the Body Bag Game. Ron Navy says the Whiteout Bowl. 007 says the Fog Bowl. Question of the day. In 1988, the Eagles played an infamous playoff showdown with the Chicago Bears. What was the name of this game? Mike says the Body Bag Game, the Whiteout Bowl, the Fog Bowl. Guys, the answer to this question is that game is notoriously known as the Fog Bowl.
Ah, dang
You
it.
couldn't even see the guys. I remember watching this on TV.
Now I remember.
I was a kid.
Ah.
You couldn't even see the players. Every once in a while, you'd see what you thought was a jersey would run by the screen. But yes,
See, I knew there was a body bag game when I lived up north of one of my buddies up there. He came from Philly, and he said, yeah, we had a game where like they just kept knocking guys out of the game, and everyone kept calling it the body bag game, and that's what the first thing that popped in my head. I forgot about this one. I remember seeing the highlights now.
007, you did nail that one with the Fog Bowl. Real quick, we're just getting caught up on Jen with an I and an E's powder puff career. Okay, Brian asked her what position, or somebody, no, Phyllis still asked what position she plays. She says defensive line. Call me Cam. I am strong and can punish people. Girls suck. After they got taken to the ground a couple of times, they let me go. QB was running for her life. Great times. Jen,
beastly. I love it.
When we're looking to replace Cam in the near future, we'll give
right.
Jenny with an I and an E a call.
She could come out of retirement, baby.
Anything else, Mike, before we start getting ready to wrap things up for today? To wrap up this Victory Monday.
I'm still not seeing anything new about George Pickens other than what I think it was Gary Dulac reported. Jerry Dulac, yeah. I haven't heard anything new. I'll keep an eye on that. But no, man, Victory Monday. Let's go, baby. We got the Eagles up next. Maybe if we take Jalen Hurts out, we'll see Kenny Pickett.
Ooh, Kenny Pickett. And then the next week, we could possibly see Deontay Johnson. So some interesting matchups over the next couple of weeks, guys. Of course, these two teams are very good, and they don't need either one of those two players. And you got to remember, these were the guys that was carrying our teams the past couple seasons. They're just mere backups now on our opponents. Phyllis still says, heck yeah, sweet. You got more ping pongs than at mommy. It does, yes. Bruiser does sound like Bruiser. I like it. If we could get any kind of footage, I would love to see Jen out there killing it on the field. But Mike, as far as me, I seen there was some kind of eye bleeding parasite or something that is starting to become. Yeah,
I'm done. No.
Search that on your bingo card. See if you have it, because I was just reading this morning about an hour before I came on. There's some kind of bleeding eye parasite that we're now supposed to be concerned about. But you know what? It is what it is. What are you going to do, right?
That's like two of my biggest fears are my teeth falling out and my eyes going blind. And now I got a belly full of white dog shit, and you drop this crap on me. I can't take it.
Yet the hair falling out never seemed to bother you. But hey,
no,
that's neither here nor there.
I look better bald than I did with hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see
big
it.
time. Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. But yeah, the bleeding eye parasite. I don't know.
I'm done. No. I'm not gonna look that up. F you.
Tonight, let's see, nothing much going on besides the game between the Bengals and the Cowboys. Monday Night Football tonight. Wrapping up the week, Mike, we have 4 weeks of NFL football left to get to the playoffs.
Yes.
Unbelievable that we're even this far. I just can't believe we're this far in. But here we are. Next month is going to be playoffs. We're going to be we have to figure out ways. As I said, these next 3 games, you're going to learn a lot, because again, with a game against the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Ravens, that kind of gives you an idea if you're going to be able to hold the test pass the test once the playoffs come, because it's going to be good team after good team after good team. You're not going to get a Browns thrown in there. You're not going to get the Raiders thrown in there. These next 3 games kind of replicate a playoff run.
Yeah.
Let's see if we let's see how confident we are in 3 weeks after playing these games of this caliber, Mike. So again, at Philadelphia, 4:25 this coming Sunday. We have a lot to talk about this week concerning this game, getting ready for this game, and a lot more. Not too much other than this going on, Mike. The Penguins don't play till tomorrow, so Monday Night Football seems to be the big topic tonight.
Yeah.
Again, we'll be back tomorrow to talk all about that and much more. Mike, anything else?
Yeah, one thing. Finch, he graciously made his own little recap video for against the Steeler Brown matchup. Gave it to us. We posted it up on the channel. I put the link in the chat. It's up on the YouTube page. Go check it out. It's really good. About like 7 minutes long. If you haven't watched it yet, go check it out. Thank you, Finch.
Absolutely. Finch and Derpy will be here tomorrow. Finch, Derpy, he's already texted me saying he won the picks. I didn't even pull it out of the vault yet to go over to games.
That's how Derpy cares about it anymore, is winning the picks.
Well, I mean, I'm in the middle of the Steeler game, and we're all, the emotions are high, and he's texting me about Seattle winning. He's like, Seattle's winning.
Right?
I thought, who? What? What are you talking
Why?
about?
What do we care about that?
But Derpy seems to believe he is he is in the lead. He's going to win, Mike, but I'm not pulling it out of the vault till tonight after the game on Monday night to see who won, who lost. Yep. Derpy will be here tomorrow for the reveal of the picks, and also Finch will be here tomorrow as well. I hope that you join us then. I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming in and hanging out, checking us out today. We appreciate each and every one of you. As always, we truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do this without you guys. Thank you so much. Everybody on the board, you guys always keep things rocking during the hour, and everybody at home, we want to thank you as well. I do believe that is everything I have, Michael. Anything, speak now or forever hold your peace.
No, just like echo what Ron said, those next 3 games, like 10 days. 3 games in 10 days.
3 games,
like
yes.
That's going to be hard. That's why,
Mike, this is
if we go 1-3 and that 1 victory is against Baltimore, I will be happy. I'll be happy.
You know what? This is what everybody talked about all year. Everybody talked about this run. These 3 games. So we're about to see what we got. This is no surprise. We have just as much time to prepare for these games as our opponents do. And Mike and I said, I'm not scared of this because I feel that we are a good team, and good teams are going to win football games. Whether we win them all, whether we win 1, whether we win 2, I think we're going to win some football games. And I'm not scared. I'm not scared of this run at all. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's start with Philadelphia next weekend. Let's go down there and kick their ass, and then go from there. Mike, anything else? Speak now.
I got nothing, man. I got nothing.
All right.
Great show, everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out, everybody. We certainly, we love you. We love spending our Yinzer Victory Mondays with you guys. You guys certainly rock. Again, enjoy Victory Monday. Get ready for these Eagles. We'll be back tomorrow with injury scoops. See what Coach has to say about the injury list. See what's going on with Larry O. And a lot more heading forward into this out-of-conference matchup with the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday. So from Mike in the Steeler Mobile Studio on his birthday, and myself with the 2 Dum Yinzers, everybody have a fantastic Victory Monday. And we'll be back tomorrow at the same time to do it all over again and go over everything and move forward, get ready for the game against Philly. Guys, for Mike, myself, the 2 Dum Yinzers, everybody have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.